Alrighty, what is going on, everybody in the YouTube stratosphere? What is going on to all the college football fans around the world? And big thumbs up to the Pitt Panther Nation. I am TALK-IS-PITT. You guys are tuning into the #1 sports channel on YouTube that will eat, breathe, and shit everything Pitt. You guys know what time it is. It is ACC recap, preview, and prediction. Or just whatever the fuck you want to call it. All right. Let me put on the banner. And then we'll call it a day. Well, we won't call it a day, but, you know, I hope I don't have the shit already. Jingle bells, Batman smells. All right, I'm gonna turn my my fan on. Hopefully, everybody out there in the world is having a fantastic day. All right. Whoops. All right, there we go. Hey, CJ, let's go. What up, CJ? All right. Health is wealth. Make sure you guys are staying hydrated out there. Even in the winter time, it is extremely easy to get dehydrated. Dehydration most of the time has nothing to do with heat. All right, I am going to drop the link in the comment section. What up, John Christophic? Also, the Cash App link is actually in the description of this video. Make sure you guys check out the description of the video. Check out the Cash App link down below. That's where you can send your donations to my channel. Also, if you have not already, subscribe to the channel. I do shit other than pick football content, and I am slowly branching out into the world of college football that has nothing to do with the Panthers. I think next college football season, though, is where I'm really going to put more effort into my videos. Meaning, I'm going to start learning how to edit, doing other videos and stuff like that, learning how to put backgrounds. Even though I'm not embarrassed by the dungeon that sits behind me, my basement wall, other people have stated that's the reason why they don't watch my channel, which to me, that's retarded. If my background, that's a basement wall, is the reason why you don't watch my channel, then that has to be the dumbest reason. Like, I could see if I said something to you or about your team or whatever the case may be, but, you know, it is what it is. All right. We're going to go ahead and get started here in the next 2.5 minutes or so. So, prediction, Pittsburgh 35, Syracuse 27. Hey, I just want a win, okay? I want to win. I want Pitt to keep winning. I don't care if it's by 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points. I just want them to keep winning. All right, so basically the rundown today, it's going to be taking a look at what happened last week and previewing and predicting what is going to happen this week. A lot of good matchups last week. I would have to say the best football game last week within the ACC took place between Miami and Louisville. Excuse me. It was definitely a shootout. Miami's defense is going to cost them a perfect season if they play the right team who knows how to exploit their weaknesses. But we'll get into that later on throughout the live stream. And yeah. But let's get right to it. First up for Week 8, so we're gonna review the Week 8 games first, and then we'll switch over to next week. Whew. Week 8 games, starting with Boston College at Virginia Tech. This was a game I had Boston College winning. I'm still not too high on Virginia Tech the way other people are with them. I think Virginia Tech, they're definitely not a bad team, but they're middle of the pack. And Kyron Drones, that one game, I can't remember who they were playing. He got sacked in the end zone, right? And ended up kicking the ball out of the back of the end zone whenever he was going backwards. So he lost control of the ball and then ended up kicking it out of the back of the end zone, which is a safety. That is 100% a safety. Actually, I think I'm going to turn my camera on, but I have to put a t-shirt on because it's still hot. It's hot as hell. And, yeah. Yeah, Virginia Tech they're mid. They're definitely mid. All right, there we go. Whew. Yeah, Virginia Tech is mid. With that being said, I had Boston College winning this game. I did. I thought Boston College was slightly better in some aspects of a football team per se. I didn't see this coming. I didn't get it coming. Anyway, Virginia Tech beats the crap out of Boston College, 42-21. And I have said to myself multiple times that I lost my train of thought. Actually, let me turn off my camera again, only because, look, I do better in these videos with my camera off. So that's the way I'm going to keep it. I didn't see this coming. I thought that Virginia Tech and Boston College were a little bit more even. But Virginia Tech, hey, hats off to the Hokie. They put a whooping on Boston College. Now, this was a home game for Virginia Tech. 42-21 victory over Boston College. I'm going to pin this comment. Yeah, CJ, yeah, I did see that. Anyway, Virginia Tech beats the crap out of Boston College, 42-21. Disappointing because I picked Boston College to win, but probably shouldn't have. Duke taking on Florida State at home. I actually thought Duke would win by 2 possessions, but Duke only won by a touchdown. They beat Florida State 23-16. Florida State's not good. Everybody knows that. There's a good chance that Florida State's only win will come against California, or did come against California, a team we beat, as in Pitt. Duke's offense is probably the most inconsistent offense. Sorry, I'm scratching my face. Probably the most inconsistent offense that I have ever seen. And Duke continues to struggle against bad teams. Now, people said, well, Pittsburgh continues to, struggle against bad teams, but Pittsburgh's also undefeated. Big difference. 23-16. I didn't watch this game, actually. And yeah, CJ, somehow Duke is 6-1. As bad as they are, because they're not good. They deserve all the credit for being 6-1. You cannot discredit that. But they're not good. To be honest, they could very well easily be 1-5 or 1-6, whatever the case may be. Because they did beat the crap out of North Carolina A&T, but who the hell's that? Duke beats Florida State at home 23-16. Duke has to figure it out on offense. And their defense isn't all that good either. Miami going to Louisville in a shootout. This was my game of the week in the ACC. Miami at Louisville. 52-45, Miami takes down the Cardinals. There's a lot to say about Miami. One, they're a good football team. They're undefeated. I do, however, think that they're overrated, because if people are going to sit up there and say that the ACC doesn't bring a lot of competition, or the usual teams in the ACC are bad, or whatever the case may be, whatever trash talk you got against the ACC, and then you're going to rate Miami as what, the third or the fourth best team? And then Miami keeps going out against inferior opponents and having to go in the shootouts to win. That should tell you that Miami is not as good as people are putting it out to be. Now, you could legit make the same argument about Pitt, and I would agree with you depending on how you're saying it and what exactly you're saying. John Christophic says, are you watching Panther Layer tonight? What time does he start? But like I said, Miami has won some very close games when it comes to football and playing opponents that they are clearly more talented. This game should have been a double-digit blowout, but it wasn't. Louisville almost came back and tied it. 8:30. I probably will be there, John. Probably. I'm blocked from JJ's Kitchen's channel because apparently people are telling him, and this is what he says, apparently people are telling him that I'm trash talking him, when at that time that wasn't the case. I was defending JJ Kitchen because a lot of people are like, oh, he's soft, he's this, he's that. And I'm like, well, I've never had a problem with the guy. Can he be a little bit egotistical? Yeah, but we all are. Literally, all of us who do YouTube has an ego of some sort. But I said he was my favorite podcaster, and then all of a sudden he blocks me, and I still can't figure out why, because I know for a fact nobody's telling him that I'm saying bad stuff about him, because I've never said anything bad. Nobody's saying anything to him because I never said anything negative about him up until this point. JJ Kitchen just mentioned in his show that I was being negative in the comment section for disagreeing with him. See, I've heard that quite a bit from a lot of people on Twitter. Jimmy Murray, I would actually like that. I honestly would. We got Zach in here. We got Jimmy. We got Never Lose Bets. And we got John Christophic along with CJ. Got a bunch of Pitt fans, and then we got a Georgia Tech fan who is honestly my most consistent follower. So thank you, CJ. Yeah, see, never lose bets. I didn't do anything to him. I never said anything bad about him. And then all of a sudden, I'm blocked for defending him. And then that idiot Derek Burkheimer, or however the fuck you, pronounce his last name. Excuse my language, and I know this word may be offensive, but Derek is retarded. All Derek has done since day one was talk shit on me, and then whenever I talk shit on him, I'm in the wrong. But he can sit there and do it to me. So fuck Derek. I would definitely love to mend the fence with JJ because I didn't do anything. And it does piss me off that he's going to sit there and say that I talked bad about him when all I did was defend him over everybody else. See, exactly right there, John Christophic. Right fucking there, right there. Derek calls me names in the Pit Facebook group if I disagree with him. I call people names, so I can't sit there and condemn him for that. But I don't call people names that I disagree with. I talk to everybody the same exact way. It doesn't matter if I agree with you. It doesn't matter if I disagree with you. I'm going to call you a dum-dum. I'm going to call you a tartar. You know, that's just me. He's on JJ Kitchen's channel, Jimmy Murray. He's on Twitter by the same name. I need to shave because my facial hair is growing back in, and every time it does, I get itchy. But anyway, guys, enough of the drama. Why does that name ring a bell, CJ? But anywho, let's get back on to the show. Miami escapes Louisville. 52-45 in a game that should not have been this close. I did not think it would be a shootout. It ended up becoming a shootout, which is why Miami and Louisville was my pick for ACC game of the week. Before I continue, guys, check out the description in the comment section. That's where the Cash App link is. I forgot to pin it in the comment section, and I am on my cell phone, so I can't go back and get it without fucking up the live stream. Virginia at Clemson. This is a game I definitely did not expect to be as close as it was. Even though Clemson did win by double digits, which is exactly what I predicted, I actually thought in the back of my mind that Clemson would hold Virginia to 14 or 21 points. I didn't think Virginia would score 31. And the thing is, they scored a lot of points at the towards the end of the game. So hats off to Virginia for fighting and not giving up like a lot of teams would. Virginia gets their, I don't want to say gets their ass whooped, but Virginia does lose by double digits to Clemson, 48-31. Also, guys, remember the StreamYard link is in the comment section. If anybody wants to come up on here, it is an open panel. Next up, this was the laughable game of the week. Wake Forest takes on UConn. Barely, and I mean barely beats UConn. They escaped UConn at UConn. What I want to know is why the hell Wake Forest scheduled UConn in Connecticut. Most of the time, when you play a team like UConn, you don't play them on their territory, on their home field. You play them on your field. And this is why Wake Forest is so bad. The fact that they only managed to beat UConn 23-20. What is a sleeper, John Christophic? I don't see how that even happened. UConn, I also checked, went toe-to-toe with another ACC team. I mean, UConn lost. I can't remember who that was. Yeah, that is a sleeper, John Christophic. I can't remember who that was that UConn played. And yeah, see, CJ, I would agree with you mostly, but they did beat us last year. So they got their revenge, even though the only time they're going to get true revenge is when they meet us in the ACC championship. If they do, which they're not making the ACC title game anytime soon. Like I said, Wake Forest escapes. Wait, did we really do that, Jimmy? Did we really schedule UConn on the road in 2028? Unless you're not a Pitt fan and I'm getting confused. Anyway, moving on. Notre Dame at Georgia Tech. This one's for CJ. Unfortunately, CJ, you guys got beat by Notre Dame 31-13. Now, this game doesn't look that bad, but you guys are missing some key players. Here's my take on Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech can't run the ball for shit. And the fact that their quarterback, Hayes King, is their leading rusher should tell you something. It should tell you that outside of Hayes King, Georgia Tech does not have a run game. Georgia Tech's defense also is wildly inconsistent. Not the most inconsistent, but wildly enough to have cost them this game. I actually was hoping Notre Dame would lose. Even though I picked them to win, I was hoping Notre Dame would lose because I just do not like Notre Dame. I don't. But Notre Dame did win. A win is a win, and I have to give them credit. 31-13 over the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Moving on, NC State at California. California. Why? Why? Every time I pick you guys to win, you lose, and when I pick you to lose, you win. That annoys me so fucking much. California, you had this game. You had the Miami game. But what do? You blow it. Your kicker sucks. Your offensive line sucks. You have no run game. And your whole entire offense is Mendoza. CJ says we need to fire our special teams coach. Yeah, you do, CJ. You really do. California lost to NC State, who is not good at all. They did beat Auburn, CJ, but what is Auburn? NC State is like Duke, in my opinion. Same talent level, different results, because Duke is obviously 6-1, and NC State is whatever NC State is. I can't remember the record off the top of my head. I had California winning this game by 10. They lost by 1. 24-23. And it was bad. I had California winning this game by 10. 2 possessions. And it's, man, California, y'all need to get your shit together. Like, really need to get your shit together. SMU, moving on. SMU beats Stanford 40-10. This isn't a game I expected any different of a result. I knew SMU was probably going to drop in between 40 and 50 points on Stanford. Stanford, ever since they beat Syracuse, has done nothing. Absolutely nothing. Syracuse is Stanford's only conference win so far, if I'm not mistaken. SMU dismantles them on Stanford's own field, 40-10. Now, here's the thing about SMU. Yeah, Stanford should have hired Jim Harbaugh. Here's the thing about SMU. I looked at Kevin Jennings' stats, their quarterback. He's only thrown for 9 touchdowns so far, which either means SMU is getting points off of turnovers, meaning they're returning fumbles for touchdowns, or they have a couple pick sixes, or they have a lot of rushing touchdowns and a lot of field goals. Because with numbers like 9 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions, he's obviously not throwing touchdowns, or he's not throwing touchdown passes that much. And SMU lost their best. Oh, yeah, he does run the ball a lot himself, Jimmy. You are correct. SMU lost their best receiving threat, their tight end, number 82, for the rest of the year. They won't have him for the rest of the year. So that could go well whenever Pitt goes down to Dallas to play SMU. Now, I know that's a bit of a travel, but think back to 2 years ago in the Sun Bowl whenever Pitt went down to El Paso and was able to upset UCLA. UCLA was a 21-point favorite, and the Pitt Panthers beat them. So I don't think traveling down to Texas is going to really affect Pitt that much. That is the Week 8 games, everybody. I'm going to take a 2 to 3 minute break, so I will be right back. Please do stay, but I will be right back. I have to take a shit. I'm back, everybody. CJ, I see your comment. Oh, oh man. I'm not somebody who sits on the toilet for like fucking 30 minutes or 15 minutes. I shit out one fucking turd. Yo, STC, welcome, welcome, welcome. You say you might go to Auburn? What for? School or just for a game or something like that? All right. All right, everybody. We are going to. Oh, nice. Nice. Nice, STC. That's very good. Look, if West Virginia offered me a scholarship where everything was covered to go to school, that includes room and board, food, books, classes, everything, transportation, everything. If that was offered to me by West Virginia, I would take it. I would be stupid not to. The only school I would refuse to go to would be Penn State. I'm not going to Penn State for any reason. For one, I don't want to get molested in the shower stall. And two, I used to live up there, and there's a reason why I don't anymore. But anyway, ladies and Gentile men, Week 9. We got some Week 9 predictions and previews to get to, so we're going to go ahead and get to that. I'm going to leave my team for last. SMU at Duke. SMU opens up as an 11.5-point favorite over the Blue Devils, which I do think is appropriate. But I do think this game maybe, not convinced yet, maybe will end up closer than what, maybe closer than what people predict. Although I highly doubt it. I do think SMU will win by 2 possessions. I don't know, because CJ, SMU's defense is very sus. They're very sus. A lot of teams have been able to run the ball against them. So I do think SMU will win. It probably will be to the magnitude of what CJ is saying, 42-24. Now, that's what, 18 points? So it could happen. I mean, because SMU, they are a good team. They were, okay, they are a lot better than anybody thought they would be. And the reason why is because of the way SMU played against Nevada. SMU allowed a team like Nevada to hang in there. I think Nevada's quarterback had 150 yards passing in that game, and SMU only beat them by 7. So I'm going to take SMU and the points I'm going to take SMU to cover the spread. I do think they will win by 11.5, but I don't know. Maybe Duke figures out how to play football on a more consistent basis. Yeah, they're not that good, CJ. They're not. And STC, I've never been down to Dallas, so I wouldn't know how hot they are. But CJ, you are correct. SMU is really not that good. I mean, not SMU, Duke. Sorry, is not that good. If anything, Duke should be put in a category that a lot of other people have put Pitt in. Pitt is put into a category as the worst undefeated team in all of college football. We are apparently the worst undefeated college football team, and that irritates that irritates the hell out of me. That does, because there are teams out there to me that are undefeated, that are overrated, but Pitt is put in a category of you're the worst undefeated Power 4 football team. Fuck you. Yeah, CJ 6-1 is still impressive, though. I have to give you that. Moving on, Florida State at Miami. Miami opens up as a 21-point favorite. I am hoping that Miami takes a loss in this game, because I just want to see the Hurricane fan base have a meltdown, losing to one of the worst, if not the worst, ACC football team. So it would be hilarious if Florida State somehow beats Miami, but that's not going to happen. Even I know that. Miami will probably win by more than 21. Oh, you have a Miami hoodie? The only other college football teams who memorabilia I have or gear that I have is the Texas Longhorns. That's the only other one I have, because when I started following college football back in high school or middle school, I wasn't a full, true Pitt fan. I rooted for Texas. That's because I like their logo. I like the state of Texas. But what made me a Pitt Panther fan is when I met Pete Gonzalez, and he paid for my season tickets for that year to go to all the games. So I went. And I became a Pitt fan ever since. And I'm a diehard Pitt fan. I am a true Pitt fan, meaning I don't care if Pitt loses the rest of their games. I'm still going to bleed Panther blue and gold. It's always going to be that way. It's not going to change. A lot of these fans out here, and I brought this up on Twitter, a lot of Pitt fans are what I like to call fair weather fake Panther fans. They'll only come to the games when Pitt is doing good. Exactly, Matt Fry. Bleed Pitt, no doubt. There are fair weather fans who only go to the games who are only going because Pitt is good. As soon as Pitt starts doing bad, they don't want nothing to do with Pitt. And my response to fair weather fans, fuck you. John Waffle is the biggest poser on the internet. Calls himself a Panther fan, but also roots for Michigan. Why? I only root for one college football team. Now, do I have a soft spot for other college football teams? Yes. But I don't cheer for them to win, and I don't cheer or get mad whenever they lose. Now, I do like all of college football. D1, D2, D3, junior college, whatever the case may be. I watch all forms of college football every week. And the team that I'm most familiar with in Division III is Mount Union in Wisconsin Whitewater. I don't have a baseball team, STC. I'm not even a Pirates fan. Basketball for NBA is Dallas Mavericks. Hockey would be the Penguins. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, Miami will take on Florida State as the 21-point favorite. And this game, I'll be surprised if Florida State scores at all. I'm just saying. Oregon State at California. Cal is somehow a 10-point favorite over Oregon State. I haven't watched a single Oregon State game this year. I know nothing about Oregon State besides the fact that DJ Ukulele went to Oregon State the year prior. I know nothing about what they have accomplished in their season so far. CJ, STC, if you guys didn't know, I'm actually a Green Bay Packers fan. I'm going to take Cal to win this game just because I don't know anything about Oregon State. But I don't think Cal will win by 10. And to be honest, they may lose. And it wouldn't surprise me if California lost to the Oregon State Beavers. Next up, we have Wake Forest at Stanford. Wake Forest is a 3-point favorite. And I can't take Wake Forest in this game. I can't. I want to because Stanford is so bad, but I cannot take Wake Forest to win this game. I think they will actually lose this game. I'm going to pick Stanford to cover the spread. So, Wake Forest escaped UConn 23-20. How the hell is Wake Forest favored over Stanford? I don't know. I think it's stupid, but it is what it is. STC says he once met a former Oregon State football player. Who was that? Moving on, we got North Carolina taking on Virginia. The Cavaliers open up this game as a 4-point home favorite. And I'm going to take Virginia to win this game. North Carolina is down bad. And everyone knows that Mac Brown is on his way out the door. Not that he's being forced, but I think he wanted to retire last year. But they convinced him to stay on another year so they can find a new coach. And that's pretty much what he's doing. He's going half football and half coach hunting for his replacement. Imagine how down you have to be for the university to force you to continue coaching while also helping them find your replacement. Wow. Oh, man, I want to laugh so hard, but I have really bad asthma, and I need to go get my inhaler filled, my prescription filled. I got asthma after I had surgery 3 years ago. With that being said, Moving on, I'm taking Virginia to win the game. CJ, I actually think that what the score will come out to be, 27-17. I do believe that's what will happen. So, hey, kudos for agreeing with me, CJ. Oh, man, I gotta go back up and I gotta make ST. Oh, I can't do that from this phone. I can't make him a moderator from this phone. Anywho, Georgia Tech. Next game up, Georgia Tech going on the road to play the Hokey Pokies, the castrated birds. Excuse me. Georgia Tech or Virginia Tech is a 10.5-point favorite. Yeah, STC StreamYard won't let me do that. So it's StreamYard, not my phone. I should have said. Virginia Tech is a 10.5-point favorite, and to be honest, I think that's too high. I think that's way too high. I would only give Virginia Tech, if I favored them, a 4-point spread. I'm not taking Virginia Tech to win this game. I am going to take Georgia Tech to win this game. I don't think Virginia Tech is going to be able to, in the long run throughout this game, keep up with Georgia Tech because they do have speed. But Hayes King needs to play in this game for Virginia Tech to win. If Hayes King does not play in this game, Virginia Tech's probably going to win, CJ. I'm just being honest. But I'm still going to take Georgia Tech over Virginia Tech. People can disagree with me all they want. That's how I feel. I think Georgia Tech's going to win this game. And that is that. Need to crack my back. Oh. Louisville at Boston College. So he's not playing, CJ? Damn. So there's a chance that Virginia Tech may win. And by your prediction, CJ, 30-27, I think you're opening up the possibility of Virginia Tech winning. But I still think Georgia Tech will win. Louisville goes on the road to play Boston College. Louisville is a 7.5-point favorite. And I do think that's appropriate. I do think Louisville will win this game. I think Louisville's offense will be too much for Boston College and their defense. And I'm not convinced that their offense is all that either. Because Kyle Robichaux was one of the best running backs in the ACC. Boston College had the number 2 or 3 rushing attack in the ACC last year. Yeah, I remember that, CJ. He does have experience. I'm going to take Louisville in this game. I think Louisville will win by the point spread. Like I said, I don't think Boston College and their defense is going to be able to keep up with a high-powered offense like Louisville. And the last game, everybody, is the game that is happening tomorrow on a Thursday night. Syracuse will travel to Acrisure Stadium to take on my beloved Pittsburgh Panthers. Pitt opens up this home game as a 6-point favorite. And I went back and forth whether or not to pick Pitt as the winner. and picked them to cover the spread. I mean, it went back and forth constantly. However, because Syracuse may be without one of their top receivers, Trevor Pena, and they won't have two of their defenders. I believe he's at Nebraska STC. And I think Syracuse will be without two of their defenders. I'm going to take Pitt to win this game by a touchdown. Oh, did he move to Arizona State, CJ? I think Syracuse's defense is suspect at best because Syracuse has allowed a lot of points against their defense. Now, they have an okay run defense, and I mean an okay run defense. But take a look at the very first game of the season, which you really shouldn't buy into the first game of the season. But Syracuse allowed Ohio, the Bobcats, to rush for 230 plus yards. And Pitt has a run game. They have a very decent run game. So I don't think Syracuse and their defense is going to be able to slow down Pitt's offense. And I think as long as Pitt gets after the quarterback on Kyle McCord, Pitt's going to win this game. They need to make Kyle McCord as uncomfortable as possible. Kyle McCord does not throw very well on the run. Can he run? Absolutely. But he's not as fast as Eli Holstein. The only difference between McCord and Holstein is experience. I do think, however, the Pitt Panthers are going to be able to take control of this game late in the third, going into the fourth quarter. Why can't you stand Syracuse, CJ? I tried to get Syracuse fans to come on here, but I don't know any Syracuse fans. Matt Fry says Pitt McCord are under fire. Exactly. We need to get after him, blitz him, keep blitzing. Like, remember the Titans. You blitz all night. Their fan base, after we lost to them, they're fucking obnoxious. See, you obviously know more Syracuse fans than I do because I don't know a single Syracuse fan. But like I said, Syracuse will travel to Pittsburgh tomorrow. The game starts at 7:30. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a watch party or not because I do have to work after the game. I work overnight. I'm not sure if I start at 10 or 12. If I start at 12, I won't get off work until 8 o'clock in the morning. Oh, shit. That's true, STC, but WVU fans are nowhere near as obnoxious as Penn State fans. I'm going to take Pitt to win this game over Syracuse. I do think Pitt is the better team all around. I really do. But this is the best team Pitt has faced all year. I was on Uncle Lou's channel last night, and I was telling him my concerns, and he pretty much addressed the same concerns I have. Pitt hasn't played anybody. And the only team that Pitt has beat that has a winning record is Cincinnati. So that does say something about Pitt being undefeated. But that he also mentioned that doesn't come on, go away. That doesn't mean that Pitt doesn't deserve recognition, because they do deserve recognition for being undefeated. It's not easy going undefeated in college football or any sport to that matter. I do think Pitt will win this game. I think that Pitt may end up winning this game by more than 6. I mean, because we went to Syracuse in 2021 and we beat them 34 to 14 or 31 to 14, I believe it was. Then in 2022, we beat them as well. Barely, but we beat them. And then last year, they obviously beat us. I do think we will end up beating the Orange by more than 6. But next week when the Panthers play SMU, then I think that may be where the Panthers take their first loss, is against SMU. If Pitt wins versus Syracuse and SMU, we better be top 10. Oh, absolutely. If we beat both SMU and Syracuse, who are 2 really good football teams, we should be ranked in the top 10. I want Pitt to be undefeated by the time, and it's good CJ brought this up. I want Pitt to be undefeated by the time we play Clemson. Because if we somehow manage to beat Clemson, I do believe that we may end up in the ACC championship. But we still have to beat Boston College and Louisville as well. And there's one other team that I'm fucking forgetting off the top of my head. Oh, well, it is Louisville, so I'm not forgetting. I do think we will beat Louisville. I don't trust Louisville. They're good, but I don't trust their defense. Oh, absolutely, CJ. That could absolutely be a game day experience. But that's all I have for today, ladies and Gentile men. Hopefully you guys liked the live stream. It was great having another live stream. Smash that like button if you have not already. Subscribe to the channel for more Pitt and college football content. Also, check out the Cash App link in the description of this video. Check out the Cash App link in the description of this video to send your donations to my channel. Now, I will read my Cash Apps off in the next video if I get Cash Apps. If I don't, then I won't obviously have to acknowledge it, but I will give shout outs to the people in the following video who have sent me donations to my channel. For whatever reason, PayPal is not allowing me to create one. And it says due to suspicious activity. But the thing is, I've never had a PayPal. I don't have a PayPal. So I don't know what's going on. So Cash App is the only way I can accept donations right now. Much love to everybody in the chat who has stopped by. CJ, Matt Fry, STC, let's see, Jimmy Murray, John Christophic, Zach, Never Lose Bets. Everybody else who has stop by on the live stream. I appreciate it. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's go, Pitt. Hell to Pitt, baby.